Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to look at, we're still in the information security. We're going to disable DNS prefetching with Helmet DNS Prefetch Control. To improve performance, most browsers prefetch DNS records for the links in their page. In that way, the destination IP is already known when the user clicks on a link. This may lead to overuse of the DNS service. If you own a big website visited by millions of people, privacy issues, eavesdroppers could infer that you are on a certain page, or page statistics alterations. Some links may appear visited even if they are not. If you have high security needs and can disable DNS prefetching at the cost of a performance penalty. Interesting. DNS prefetch control to your server. Okay, so let's pull this guy up. App.use helmet.dnsPrefetchControl, and that's pretty much going to do it. Okay, so if we save that and then we come back to our server, Command C, stop the server, npm start. Okay, so now we have it freshly there. So if we go back to our local host situation, must have got rid of it. There it is. Refresh. So I'm thinking that we're going to find it in here. DNS prefetch control off. There we go. So if we comment that out, stop the server and start the server, and then we're going to refresh. We're going to look for DNS prefetch. DNS prefetch is not there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to uncomment that, save it, and then we're going to commit this to our deployed environment, which doesn't have it there. If we were to test that right now on our deployed environment, and we set this, I've completed the challenge, it says, no, you haven't. It should be mounted correctly, and it's not. And so we need to make that happen. So in order to do that, we're going to have to commit it to our project. So git status, we see that that's the file that we edited. We see that we removed a no line, removed an empty line, and we've added the DNS prefetch control. So we want to go git add, git commit, and then in the message we're going to say add helmet DNS prefetch control, and we'll go git push. Okay, and if we go over to our render page, this was our old one, we added that, but now we see we've kicked up this deploy to add helmet DNS prefetch control. And so yeah, while that's going, I'm going to just look at this on the wiki. DNS prefetching possibilities. Prefetching. Disable DNS prefetching. Prefetching. Also notice that prefetching is the act of resolving a website's IP address before a user clicks on its link. Is an attempt to resolve domain names. Resolution can lead to a significant amount of user perceived latency. The time the DNS resolution takes is highly variable. Latency delays range from about 1 millisecond, locally cached results, to commonly reported times of several seconds. Oh, so DNS prefetching is an attempt to resolve the domain names before a user tries to follow a link. This is done by using the computer's normal DNS resolution mechanism. No connection to Google is used. Once a domain name has been resolved, if the user does navigate to the domain, there will be no effective delay due to DNS resolution time. The most obvious example of DNS prefetching can help is when a user is looking for a page with many links in various domains, such as a results page. When they encounter hyperlinks in the page, we extract the domain name from each and resolve each domain to its IP address. All this work is done in parallel with the user's reading of the page, using minimum CPU and network resources. So wow. When a user clicks on any of these pre-resolved names, they will on average save about 2 milliseconds in their navigation, 200 milliseconds. More importantly, that the average saving a user won't tend to experience the worst case. So this is saying this is the value of DNS prefetching, but what we've done in our application is disabled it, I believe, right? Most browsers prefetch DNS, and that way destination is IP. So yeah, I guess if you have a web application where you want to be really, really specific about what people are clicking, it makes sense to disable the DNS prefetch control for that reason, so that DNS prefetching. Splunk's a really amazing company. They've got this amazing tools. Understand DNS prefetching. A DNS prefetch is a resource hint to make DNS lookup for a domain the browser has not yet determined needs to be made. So to do this in the browser, first let's see an example. Loading page that needs to request the resource. Stats example, JS, pint.js. To do this, it first must make an HTTP connection to the domain. And the browser already has an HTTP connection to the domain. The existing connection can be used. Otherwise, a new connection is created. To do this, the browser makes a DNS lookup for that, and you can see the request for pint.js. Okay, so basically, all the pages on the website, browsers are prefetching the domain name service lookups, and that can be a security vulnerability. And by adding helmet.dnsPrefetchControl, that makes that a little bit less common. Okay. Deploy started, so it's still working on it. It's hard to think that in our tiny little application that has nothing on it that there's going to be any value in this. I mean, there's only one link. DNS options, render. Where was that? Oh, we're in the deployed environment. So if we refresh here, this is where we'll see it. Strict transport. Frame options of deny. I bet this is what I messed up in the previous tutorial. This is where that cross-site scripting, and I couldn't figure out the difference. This is probably what that was. So those who are following along the whole process are going to know it. This is interesting. It seems to be taking a little bit longer than normal. It says it's in progress, but it also says that it's up. Okay, so now it's live. This guy just popped up. So yeah, it's deployed there. Here's the deployed environment. We didn't see the pre-stretch or prefetch. XXS site protection, there we go. What was the prefetch thing? Let's go back here. Stop that, npm start. Here we're back on the local one, so frame options, download options. Now we should not have it. So let's look at what's the difference between the deployed and the local. Accept range, cache control. Response headers, accept range, cache control public. Oh, it's a little bit different because it's local, I guess. Prefetch control off. Interesting. Oh, yeah, I turned it off, of course. So if we turn it back on and we stop the server and restart it, then we look here, we should see prefetch control off. Yeah, okay, cool. Nice, so I'll just return this to this tab and we can grab our URL. And we don't need to repaste it in there, but that should do it. So yeah, 64% through. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.